Mike.
Yeah, me and Andy beat Elden Ring Nightreign. We're going to talk all about it. But before I do, we got to bring up a big crime that's been committed this last generation of video games.
We'll make fun of Barrett.
And that's Nintendo Switch and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Greg. Being trapped on that system. That's fucked up that we can't play that everywhere.
I agree.
That should be out.
Again.
That game rocks. But this game will scratch my itch. So it's good enough. Okay, I'll take it.
What about Nightreign?
Andy, let's talk about Elden Ring Nightreign. Of course, it is an From Software experience made exclusively for me. The only jabroni who loves multiplayer games mixed with Battle Royale, closing circles, and sprinkling a little From Software magic. This is a game that I love to death. It will probably go down as one of my top favorites in the company's franchise list here.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying this is probably going to be your number one of the year. Really enjoyed it.
This will go down as my favorite. It's everything that I want out of a FromSoft experience, being able to share it with my friends, most importantly, having it being very fast and not have it, hey, let's slow down, let's read these stats. Let me guess, if I put 50 into health, how much more will my health bar go up? It's just simply, hey, drop your runes off here at this site of grace, let's level up, let's move on to the next awesome piece of action. And so it's this blend of high-paced action, extreme difficulty with From Software game design, and then on top of that, of course, my favorite is the map exploration. I am always wowed and impressed by all the cool scenes that we see, all the different bosses that they mix in to the different locations, and having, what, Andy, 10 bosses? How many do they have, 8 to 10?
They have 8 unique bosses.
Yes, 8 unique bosses, and then each one of those bosses has a just splattering of different amounts of bosses that you can fight before them too.
Yeah, a bunch of different Elden Ring enemies, and we reviewed this already in a way that was kind of like, yeah, we played it, we were doing our best. It was a weird review period because I think this game is very much your mileage may vary. Whenever anybody asks, should I play this? I have no friends to play with. I would say no, probably, because it's the same thing as signing on alone to play squads in Fortnite. When 2 teammates immediately run opposite directions, you're like, oh, fuck, why am I even here right now? And that can happen quite a bit in the Elden Ring Nightreign experience based on just reading a whole lot of tweets. I know the first couple days in, they were having a lot of matchmaking issues, and it took a while for the game to kind of get its rating up above mostly negative or mixed on Steam, because a lot of people were having issues with networking and just with what the game was. And then they made playing solo a bit easier.
Is it fun, Andy? People want to know, is solo fun?
I think solo is much better and easier to deal with now because they gave you a free res. So whenever you do go down, you can just kind of come back during a boss fight. And my opinion of this game has only gone up. I think the game really, really surprised me with how much deeper it was. I thought it really just felt like, wow, this is one of the best mods you could download on the internet. And, it's cool what they've done here. They just this was just one of the teams on From Software saying, I really want to make a kind of roguelite, fast-paced multiplayer experience. And, we look at this as hopefully their testing grounds for their future in multiplayer and making things easier to squad up with friends. But I would say that my opinion of this only went up, because I think when the game came out, I was like, yeah, I think it's around an 8 out of 10. I'd go up to like a 9. I think that the explorable areas, with how the world does change with these shifting lands and how much adventure we found, where once you beat a boss, then the next time you drop into the world, there will be a massive part of the map that is different and changed. And exploring that was so much fun. Trying to find the balance of, we're running out of time, but I really, really want to explore this. Having those sort of mini metagame excursions where you go, I mean, Mike, it felt like every round we were going, oh, we got to go take on that rooftop boss because it was so challenging. I think we could take it on now. You got Loretta, the run killer. Like, there's just so many awesome moments in this game that are fun as hell. And the ability to, I think having that RNG is also a lot of really fun. Like, I know some people can look at RNG as something that can just kind of get in the way, but whenever random number generator, that's what it means. So I hate saying RNG, and some people just don't even know what that means. But the RNG of sometimes having a run and then suddenly the build is working out and you go, oh shit, this is going to be a special one. It just gets really exciting. And then us beating the bosses and having people from chat join us, it was a good time. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Mike, what are you prepared to give it a kind of funny score?
On the Kind of Funny scale, I would give this an 8.5 out of 10 on the Kind of Funny scale. It is great to amazing. It is an absolute blast to play. This is, like I said, a game that is strictly for me. And I think there are others that probably found a lot of fun with their friends doing this. But as someone who's always wanted to share the Dark Souls experience with others, and then having that turned up to 10, where there is a giant map, there is a closing circle, and it is, hey, we can't stand around at the site of grace and discuss what movesets we should get. We just need to go, and have that all mixed in so well where, yeah, there is a little bit of thought process, right, Andy, of like, what are my passives on all these weapons that I grab? What is that next thing that I should be looking for, whether it be a buff to maybe help some of my moves, or is it something that will affect the boss in a different way, different like poisons, holy damage? What should we be kind of gearing towards? So there is a little bit of thought process to that. It's not mindless, just run around and constantly attack. You do have to be kind of mindful of what you're thinking you should be building towards, but I love the just fast-paced nature of this. I think the bosses are really tuned well for a 3-player situation. Each boss felt like they were coming after every single person on the screen, no matter what. There wasn't much free time. The only time I ever felt like I was free to just kind of be quiet and easy was when I had a weapon that said, hey, the boss will rarely look at you, right? And so I think they did a great job tuning these 8 bosses to, hey, 3 players are on the screen and they really know how to attack you. I think in other FromSoft games, they're not really tuned to have 2 or 3 other people on the screen with you. It is usually a 1v1 fight. And so to see them say, hey, this is the core of the game, let's build these bosses out like that, every single one was so much fun to see, from, of course, the beginning when the wolf turns into 3 wolves and all of you are getting attacked one by one. I think that's really cool. To the final boss where he can just, close the gap and create space so quickly on you that you're never really safe no matter how far away you are. I think each of the character classes are really built out in a fun way for you to try and be something different than you normally would be. I'm usually a sorcerer, and even the sorcerer in this class is different than how I would play, right? Because there is no mana flasks here. You have to kind of play that a little bit differently, how you get your FP back to use magic spells. And so each one, from the super tank berserker guy to, of course, the guardian eagle, who is kind of the big shield man, all have their own unique stuff. And I think that's what will get me coming back, Tim, is there's things that I want now in the future, now that I've beaten it, that I want to see. But really, I could jump back tomorrow because I have, 6 other characters to play, 5 other characters to go check out.
A lot of other characters.
This episode's brought to you by Cash App. We've all had those moments getting meals out with people that always end in some kind of awkward experience of having to figure out the least complicated way to just get it done. Or even after figuring it out, have you used an app and ended up having to wait days for your money to finally show up? What if we could solve all of that easily? Cash App is a completely different experience, fast, easy, and safe, and a great way to receive and transfer money to family and friends. It's incredibly easy to set up. You just enter your phone or email and some other basic information, no bank account needed, and then there's no waiting around for days. It's your money, you shouldn't have to wait. We love using Cash App because it's fast, it's safe, and it just makes life way less stressful. For a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, there's no catch. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code, Kinda Funny, in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. This episode is brought to you by Mood. Let me tell you about the online cannabis company that's revolutionizing how we deal with life's challenges. From sleepless nights to stress-filled days, Mood.com has created an entire line of functional gummies that target specific health concerns with 100% federally legal THC blends. They'll deliver them discreetly right to your doorstep, and you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com with promo code KINDAFUNNY. I've been having a great time trying out all their different gummies, and I'm loving how each one feels. Their sleepy time gummies will knock you out in about 15 minutes flat. No hangovers, no grogginess, and their Epic Euphoria gummies are perfect for those days when nothing's going right. And best of all, not only does Mood stand behind everything with an industry-leading 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code KINDAFUNNY. So head to mood.com, browse their amazing selection of functional gummies, and find the perfect gummy for whatever you are dealing with. And remember to use promo code KINDAFUNNY at checkout to save 20% on your first order.
And in the last week, they kind of just out of nowhere dropped an enhanced version of one of the bosses. And they were like, this is the extra hard version of it for people that want the extra challenge. And it's not just we gave it a bigger health bar and it does more damage. It has new movesets and new, completely new mechanics that it does in the second. It starts off in its second phase. So when one of these bosses kicks up its second phase, you go, oh shit, the purple lightning is going to start happening. The boss starts off in that phase. And then suddenly, I don't know if you saw any of the footage of this, Mike, but there are those wind currents that shoot you up, you know, like the Blessing calls them the trampolines. But this boss creates like a gigantic purple tornado, and you have to jump into the tornado. Like it's wild what they're doing. And then now this dude, who is one of the more annoying bosses to deal with, the big sort of horse
Centaur
guy,
man,
Centaur guy. They are releasing the enhanced version of him in the next couple of days as well. It's just really cool what they're doing to keep players in while this next big DLC will happen. And this next big DLC should be awesome whenever that does happen.
Another wild one from Software, again, drops the no microtransactions. It's just all in the game, right? Like that was the one when we talked about. It's like they could make millions of dollars selling skins if they wanted to, right? They have a rabid fan base that is all in on this. They could have easily been like, hey, we got a bunch of these skins, $5 a pop, and people would have gone crazy, right? But they stuck what they normally do of, hey, we're not charging you anything. You just play the game and have fun. And it's wild to be sitting on that end of it, looking back and going, man, they didn't charge me a dime for any of this. I had a blast with just the upfront cost, and I'm loving every moment of it.
Yeah.
Closing out the Elden Ring talk here, Shay Slay super chats in saying, did you platinum it? It took me forever to get 3 wins trophy. Andy, I know you're not a trophy guy and you're on PC, but are you interested in doing all the achievements?
There's too many other things to play. No, like I've never been that dude. At one point, we were close to getting the 3 wins in a row, the turkey, and we got our ass. Me, Mike, and I forget who we were with, got our asses handed to us. So it was like, all right, well, that's gone. And I'm not.
We're never doing that again. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm not like super pumped or
That's
excited
not the
about
reason
trying to
you're
do
cheating.
that. Yeah.
This game is great. Go play it with your friends. It's a ton of fun. I can't wait to see the future of this, how they incorporate new bosses. How do they add other bosses from the games to be kind of the minor bosses? Will we see a switch up of the map anytime? What are the new added things like Andy brought up with just changing up the world in just a small, slight way? There's
And the little side
big
quests.
future to this.
There's a lot more to this game than I thought that there would be. Not that I should be giving them credit for making a full developed game. I expected, I think the negative part of me looked at this as like, oh, multiplayer cash grab. And there was a lot more in here than I thought there would be when it comes to different characters having their own mission structures and conversations that they're having with other people and like getting lore bits about all of these different people about why they're here. Really, really damn cool. Awesome game.
Can't wait.
Greg Miller has beat Death Stranding 2, and he's prepared to give his final score. But we're going to hear that after a word from our sponsors.